How's it going, everyone? Uh, I didn't post for a while as I was trying to figure things out with this channel, with where things are going to be heading. It's hard to talk about something like a hobby when the world is burning, especially something like buses, right? But of all the automotive hobbies, I believe buses are the most politically charged. Cars, whether they be Soviet cars to the most luxurious and opulent Lincoln or Mercedes, they're fundamentally capitalist, or rather anti-communist, as they rely on private ownership. Sure, you can have state-owned taxis, government limos, and all that, but most are owned by people like you and me. Buses, however, are almost exclusively owned by governments or larger companies that serve the general public. So this creates a debate on this particular hobby. Do I like buses because I like cars, fossil fuels, big, machines and oil and grease, or do I like buses because they move people for cheap or basically free in some places from point A to point B? Now, I've been on forums for many years, and I can tell you that I found people on either side of this debate, people on either camp. And that's the distinction that I'm going to be talking about today. And this will be the segue into politics, into anything else, not just politics, but I do want to talk about history, philosophy, science, technology, and things like that, because I do have experience in several different domains. Now, getting back to the topic at hand. Now, buses can be either a mode of transportation versus buses as a type of vehicle, make and model, etc. Now, if you're the type that likes the brand new buses, the battery buses, the hybrid buses, or whatever new vehicle comes out, and you instantly wish the old ones should be retired and scrapped, you're probably a communist. However, if you like older buses, you might be into cars and like that particular model because of the design, or you could be nostalgic, or maybe you took this type of bus on your first date and you recall the feeling of love, of potential before the bitter divorce, which you took your kids, your house, and now you pay child support and live in a day. That's right. Already I can tell. Half of you are pissed off and fuming more than my old bus, right? That's the point. Buses are very charged politically, and that is the point I'll be making. Not exclusively, because I still care about the vehicle itself and want to present them for those who care. But I want to talk about things that are more relevant to what's going on in the world. And the world is on fire. And I just don't want to be silent. I can't. I have some personal experience that I will go into, and like I said a couple of videos before, that I do have some interviews lined up with people that fought in revolutions, that were part of violent protests on the defending side, on the people's side, and things like that. So I feel that this is something that must be said, especially with what's going on right now in Hong Kong. Be strong. Alright? That's my message to the guys in Hong Kong. Don't give up. Now, on a personal level, I believe buses should be like roads. If there's a need to stimulate the economy of a local area, then buses should exist. If not, then drive. Take a cab. The idea that buses should take any person from any place is absurd in general. Sure, it works in smaller cities like Europe, where most people can, you can walk a few yards to any bus stop, any tramway, any subway, etc., and get to any other place in the city in the same conditions where you get off and you can walk a reasonably short distance to any other point. But in large countries like the US, Australia, Russia, China, India, the need for private transport it's pretty clear. I'm not going to get into parking rides or any other combined means of transportation because I want to take the two outer limits. And for those of you that remember a little math, when you want to find out the limit of a function, right, you take two bounds, and if you can find the limits to those, and if they're going towards the same thing, you got your limit. One extreme is driving everywhere at any cost to the individual, and the other extreme is taking a bus from any point to any point at any cost to the taxpayer. Now, again, I don't want to get into which is right, which is wrong. I just want to point out that buses are the vehicles within this hobby that stir the biggest debates, the biggest arguments, because you'll have some people that say, oh, well, we should do this and this and this, and I don't care. I want low-floor buses everywhere and every point. Screw the cost, because that's why we pay taxes. And other people say, well, why? There's other, cheaper methods, and let people drive more, build more highways, or et cetera, et cetera. I've read on the forums and online all sorts of arguments, and generally let me say, before, people used to reach some sort of consensus, or they would leave it at, okay, let's agree to disagree. Nowadays, it's become even more polarized, where people will just say, this is the way we're doing it, and that's it. I don't care what you have to say. This is right. And we're entering the territory of morality. And morality in the sense of what I define to be good and moral versus not even bad, evil. And when you ascribe that quality to any topic, you can't debate. It doesn't matter how much it costs, because this is right, this is moral. It's not even on the table. And that is something that's very dangerous in today's political climate, because you have one side saying this is moral, the other side saying this is moral, and neither one will budge. And if that happens to be within the same country, you can figure out what's going to happen given enough time. So, as a side note regarding environmentalism, let me move out of the way. There you go. So I saw this, call it a meme, if you will, and this is the space used by bicyclists, space used by cars, and then the bus, right? And as a funny thing, every time I see this meme, I think, like, well, what if there are people like me, right? I used to think I was an evil bastard for driving a car that's twice the size of your average Fiat, and I don't know what can I say now when my bus is usually, it's just me in it, and it's the size of 10 Fiats. Yeah. So I just thought that was funny. So, yeah, screw you, atmosphere. Anyways, so that's it for now. I don't want this to be overly long until we get into some more topics. What I want from you, what I need from you, just like when you get on a bus and you got to punch that ticket, for those of you in Romania and in Europe that know, or when you get on a bus, you pay the fare, you have to subscribe and push that bell button, that notification, all right? Because I'm not getting any views from YouTube, and in fact, this video is going to be uploaded to BitChute first. Screw YouTube. I don't even care at this point what YouTube does. So there's no monetization, no commercials, unless I have a commercial, an ad running in the show, basically a sponsor. I need views to justify a sponsor giving me money. So you want to see this content, you do that. Second thing I want from you is in the comments below, type out a topic that you wish to discuss, or ask me a question, something that's on your mind that's related to either buses, transportation, hell, it could be aviation or other topics, and I'll let you know. It could be even about me. I'm willing to get into more personal things about what I've done in my life, my experiences, and so on. If you give a rat's ass, because honestly, I don't know. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not, whatever. Part of me doesn't care. So, I'll be waiting, and I will try to get back on a regular schedule every week. So until then, have a great ride and never stop your fight. Are almost exclusively, my hand is way too close to you, but blah, 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 blah. Cut.